Welcome back, fan stands, to the Week 18 finals. We have Jeskai control versus Casualties ramp. This Jeskai control list seeks to delay the game with counterspells, stick a Saheeli on the board, and potentially even take extra turns with Time Vault. Meanwhile, Casualties ramp looks to get Nissa out as soon as possible, and then Casualties the opponent to destabilize them. Let's look at game one. Alright, here we have Jonah playing Jeskai control on the left, with Matt on the right playing Casualties ramp. Matt is going to mulligan down to 6. And it looks like they're giving us a peek into their hand. We've got peeks from both sides. But Jonah's going to want to see what Matt was so excited to share. And it's 4 Paradise Druids, Gemstone Mines, and Casualties of War. So Matt's really hoping that they draw another mana source to start getting the Paradise Druid plans online. Jonah will just play Mox Ruby, Volcanic Island, and Time Walk. Right here, the Time Walk's really important because it turns on the Dovin's Veto in Jonah's hand. Didn't have access to the white and blue at the same time, but the Time Walk lets that happen. We've got Saheeli on 3. Let's see. Did Matt draw a land? No, they did not. Jonah just says pass. We've got 2 lands in play for Matt finally. Hoping to resolve a Paradise Druid, which can't be bolted or Dovin's vetoed. We've got Sarkhan. Gonna make a servo token and probably also a dragon. Yep. And we've got a lot of pressure from Jonah's side of the field now. Matt with 2 Gemstone Mines means that even with these Paradise Druids, the mana's a little unstable. We're starting off with a Dark Ritual. We'll play a Paradise Druid and another Paradise Druid. So even with missing a land drop, we've still got 5 mana out in play right now. Land from Jonah. Gonna uptick on the Sarkhan, turning each planeswalker into a 4/4 dragon. Matt'll take 13 damage. And we'll bolt this Paradise Druid, gonna make it really hard to cast Casualties of War next turn. We get another servo and pass the turn over to Matt. See, what do they have? We're starting off with a Mana Vault. Gonna tap 4 mana for Tamio's Epiphany. Scry 4, draw 2. Jonah's sitting on this Dovin's Veto because the only spell that matters is probably going to be Time Walk. But even then, Matt will only have 2 Paradise Druids out. And drawing a Mox in another land isn't going to do it. Jonah takes game 1. Let's head into game 2. This time we'll have Matt on the play. Let's see. Looks like Jonah's looking at a 1-lander in hand. Is going to keep it, hoping that the Time Walk can save them. Matt's going to play no green mana on turn 1. Makes it highly suspicious. And yeah, Jonah's going to try to pounce on that. But Matt draws a Savannah like a champ to play their Paradise Druid. Now, any mana color issues aren't going to be a problem. But Jonah is going to miss on their land drop. But can still fight with this Reb. Gonna Reb it to Fairy. Black mana for Dark Ritual. And we've got Nissa who shakes the world. Gonna swing in for 3. Alright. Mox, we find a mana source. Gonna try to see if we can find another mana source. Got white mana now, so Dovin's vetoes are online. A little less relevant when the Nissa has already hit the battlefield. Ooh. Matt has access to Mind Twist. Counting up the mana, what they can make X for if they untap with Nissa. So that Nissa should be at 7 counters. So we've tapped 1, 2, 3, 4 mana so far. Now 5. Alright, we're going for the full X equals 5. So Jonah might as well counter this spell. And yeah, we'll Supreme Will it. Rather would have the hard counters while Matt has access to so much mana. And Matt will beat in for 6, tap for 4, and it'll be a Tamiyo. Likely not to resolve. Because yeah, grabbing it to Fairy back will make future counterspells much more difficult. Another pass of the turn. Jonah would prefer to cast the Fact or Fiction in hand rather than have to keep spending their mana on counterspells. But with Matt continuing to put the pressure on, not really giving Jonah a chance. And with a pair of vetoes in hand, this Teferi is going to need to do a lot to get something going. We've got a Saheeli. Yeah, so we can Saheeli, play a Mox, play the Teferi, bounce something. Probably bounce the Druid. Though Matt hasn't been making land drops. It's hard to tell. But this Ruby will give us a servo, and then Teferi will give us another servo. If we think that Reb would be relevant as a top deck, maybe bounce the Mox Ruby. But we just drew a Sarkhan instead. Sarkhan on this board could represent 12 damage, I believe, if the dragons get haste, I don't remember. But right now, Jonah just needs to survive. Looks like we're going to start with attacks. Ooh, and an Elder Spell to get rid of both the Planeswalkers. Making Nissa nice and healthy. so that she can downtick with impunity and replay that Paradise Druid. So now Matt's got a Nissa emblem in play. They'll find all force from their library and put them onto the battlefield tapped, but that's enough of a game-winning play that Jonah will concede, and we're heading into game 3. All right, we're here into game 3, the finals of week 18. Jonah's figured out a hand they want to keep. Matt, I believe, is mulliganing once down to 6. Ends up putting a blue elemental blast on the bottom of the deck. Jonah starting things off with a gemstone mine. No early Mox plays, but Matt has one in this Paradise Druid. We just drew a Mox Sapphire. We'll play a Tundra. And probably could tap out either for a 3-mana Walker, or if we think Matt has Dark Ritual, they could play Nissa. Jonah really thinking things through, figuring out how bad it would be if they don't go the safe route, but also if they're not able to spend their mana, things could be really rough if all their cards just get stranded in hand. Matt does seem to have the Dark Ritual and Nissa in hand, but just passes the turn. Gonna really strand everything in Jonah's hand. It looks like Jonah's thinking about maybe firing off a Supreme Will for the option of digging for another card, but values using it as a counter spell. And Jonah misses a land drop, but Matt's able to continue developing. And at this point, Matt can hard cast a Nissa, but might wait until they can double spell, maybe with a bait into something else. And here we do have Jonah digging 4 deep. We've got a Saheeli and something else. It looks like we valued taking lands, which I agree. Need to be able to cast all that relevant stuff in your hand. We've got Reb and Misstep, but it doesn't look like we have other counter spells, and it looks like we're also not going to bluff. There is the potential for bluff equity, but if you get called out, it's so bad. And we just pass the turn. Now Matt knows that Jonah can't have a Supreme Will, knows that that Jonah can't have Dovin's Veto or Counterspell. We're going to muscle through the Gitaxian Probe with extra Dark Rituals. 3 copies from Matt. So I believe we have 5 in the pool. We're going to use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for Nissa. And yeah, Jonah can't do anything about it. Untap Bayou. And go for a Time Walk. This will be Red Elemental Blasted. Notably, if Matt had kept the Blue Blast, I don't think they would have had enough blue mana this turn. to both cast Nissa with the Druid and Time Walk Blue Blast. We're going to start things off by making a copy of our Mox Sapphire, turning the servo into a Mox Sapphire with Nissa. 3 mana to Fairy. We can bounce the Druid. Making sure we get our servos first. Bouncing the land doesn't do too much. And yet, just gonna force Matt to continue developing. Looks like Jonah has the possibility to make another play. I'm just going to go to the end step. We've got 2 Volks, Gemstone Mine, and Mox Sapphire up. So that's enough to Foff. Yeah, must be planning to use all the mana in their pool if they made that servo into a copy of Mox Sapphire. Matt will just play the Gemstone Mine. We're going to animate our Scrubland. And not tapping beforehand means probably don't have any other spells to play right now. We just get a block. Paradise Druid is back. Here's the fact or fiction that was ever so slightly telegraphed. Here we go, 5 spells. Jonah's going to favor the mana and Foff with the Bolt. Bolt able to delay Nissa, Bolt able to kill some lands, but the lands are just going to keep coming back with Nissa. Sarkhan, a potential win condition if we attack all the way with our Planeswalkers. Yeah, Sarkhan could represent a win in 2 turns with the current walkers. Just would have to basically protect the queen with all these servo tokens. But we're going to take the Bolt route instead. Jonah with the option to replace their Saheeli. We'll start off with a land drop. And Matt at this point with only 1 card in hand just has to hope that this Nissa gets there. A lot of decision trees. Jonah probably thinking of what they could hit off of Fact or Fiction. Opting to bolt a land before revealing that information. There's no real Planeswalker to hit off of Foff, because with Teferi and Saheeli, you wouldn't want to exactly replace them. You'd be losing your value. Here we have 2 lands attacking, 2 servos blocking. Gonna use that Factor Fiction. Get another servo. We have Reb, Overload, Probe, Planar, Nexus, and another land. So Probe makes a free servo, essentially. So that's kind of valuable while getting another card. The Reb doesn't do too much here. Oh. Jonah favoring the Reb as a way to stop Counterspell and maybe Tameo and her Epiphany. The Overload not doing too much here as Matt already has a ton of mana. Though the Nexus does gain us some life. But we need to try to win the game. Right now we don't have a way to do anything but delay. Oh, wait, we already have Time Walk in the Graveyard for Matt, so it was probably just a Tameo that Jonah's worried about. We'll play Bop. We'll animate this Savannah. So putting Nissa up to 9. Looks like we're going to have Paradise Druid attack Saheeli, and I think we have the lands attacking to Fairy. Jonah opting to save to Fairy. Saheeli going down. All Jonah's servos are gone. Protecting Teferi here, I guess, represents an extra card, represents an extra bounce to gain some tempo. Looks like Matt's realizing that the Nissa should be on 9. Yeah, and we're just doing some investigative work to figure out and confirm that yes, Nissa should be at 9. Rather tight match, but Jonah's starting to run out of options. The recurring beats from the lands destroying all the servos that they had been building up. And by running out of cantrips, not able to keep the servo tokens rolling from Saheeli. I believe we know that one of the cards in Jonah's hand is a Saheeli. We're bouncing a Savannah. No, we're bouncing a Scrubland. And just got a bunch of lands in Jonah's hand. We'll pass the turn. Not too much for Jonah to do. Probably going to lose Saheeli this turn and take 9, be on a 2-turn clock. Matt has ultimated Nissa. This does give Jonah an extra turn, as next turn we can animate a land and deal 11 damage with 3 lands and a Paradise Druid. Though maybe we knew that it wasn't going to be a 2-turn clock anyways because of Saheeli. Bolt hits Druid. We get another blocker. But at this point, with Jonah's only real win con being Sarkhan, we're going to have to do something truly spectacular to overcome the tempo that Matt currently has. Here's our Nissa emblem, giving our lands indestructible, taking out all the force from our deck. So that means all we're doing is just drawing gas. And starting things off with a Gitaxian Probe. Matt's gonna see that Jonah doesn't have anything. Ooh, and if we have a Casualties of War. We'll animate the land. Tap 6 for Casualties. Land, artifact, creature, and planeswalker. Now we can attack for 9. Jonah's at 3. Any animated land now is lethal. The lands are indestructible, so a surprise Armageddon from the control deck isn't going to do anything. We do have Narset. She can dig a little deep. We can keep spinning our wheels. Narset, please save us. Believe we took a Factor Fiction. Gonna keep digging. We do have a land drop to make. Real another Foff, a Time Vault, Sarkhan, Time Walk, and the Nexus. The only thing I think we can take here so that we're not just dead is the Time Walk. And Matt also recognizes this. Priced into this play. It's gonna eat away our gemstone mine. For Time Walk, do we have a balance? Do we have a balance somehow? Even then, Nissa will uptick on a land. And our card is a secret. We'll keep digging with Nissa. Could take a lightning bolt. Give ourselves the satisfaction of ending it. But we're going to keep on fighting. Teferi could see another card. Maybe it'll save us. Bouncing Trop. Drawing Mox. And that'll be it. Jonah concedes and Matt wins our 4-round Week 18 finals with Casualties Ramp.